Welcome to a video from thedigitallife.com. In this video we're going to have a quick look at this Acer Switch 11 hybrid tablet, or hybrid PC tablet. Now I previously looked at the Acer Switch 10 earlier in the year, but this is the 11-inch version, so a slightly bigger screen and a slightly different spec, coming with a couple of items which we'll talk about. So first, as I mentioned, it's a hybrid device, so it looks like a laptop at the moment, but you can separate it off and it becomes a tablet. We'll have a look at this bit in a moment. You can also reposition that back like that and have it in kind of a presentation mode, or you can just stick it back that way and it clips in and it's back being a laptop. Right, so let's have a look at the tablet. I'll show you some of the ports on it while we're here. So the tablet is a self-contained unit that we've got power, micro HDMI, micro USB and a micro SD card. On this side we've got volume rocker, power, Windows key and headphone. And that's it, that's the tablet. Like I said, it's a complete touchscreen tablet. Everything you need is on here. This is the keyboard docking station or the base station, and that includes a standard USB 2 port on it. Now what this actually means, having the keyboard on, is I've tested a couple of these, and sometimes I found that if you sort of prod them a little bit, the whole thing tips back because you've got a very light keyboard and a heavy tablet. This isn't the case on here because this has got a 500 gig hard drive in it, so that adds to the weight of the overall device, but it makes it very stable. Because in the tablet part you've got a 32 gig eMMC drive, and then you've got the 500 gig in there. So when you're using it tablet mode, you've just got access to the 32 gig, and then you dock it and it puts that on there. So it actually makes the whole thing quite heavy, but in tablet mode it's fairly light. Right, so it's a £351. I found this on Amazon. So you are into sort of laptop territory. You could buy probably a lighter laptop, but what you're paying for is this hybrid factor, and it is nice to be able to just take the keyboard off, sit on the sofa and use it as a tablet. And you see it's running Windows 8.1, but Windows 10 will run on it just fine, so when you get it you can upgrade it to Windows 10. The screen is running at 1366 by 768, so you're not really talking high res like the really high res like on a Surface 3 Pro, Surface Pro 3, but it is usable on and you can see on the desktop it's nice and shiny. It's hard to see on a YouTube video, but it's got Gorilla Glass 3 on it that's supposed to offer a very wide viewing angle, but due to this zero air gap they call it, so I don't know what you can see on, it really shows it up on here, but it has got quite a good viewing angle, and the screen is nice and bright and clear. The overall weight, I should say, is 838 grams, so it actually feels quite heavy and solid, but then when you take this off you have got a nice tablet, and it's fairly well balanced as well. It's not too heavy in one part of it. It does feel quite big as a tablet. I mean, I use the Surface Pro 3 as a tablet, and this feels bigger. It's got quite a big bezel on it, you'll notice, so it does feel quite large to use it as a tablet. I wouldn't really want to go any bigger than that. It will probably support Continuum as well on Windows 10. I haven't tested this, but that's where it automatically switches between tablet and desktop mode, depending on whether you've got the keyboard included. In terms of performance, it's got an Atom processor in it, but with running at 1.33 GHz with 2 gig of RAM. So it'll run iTunes, it'll run Chrome, it'll run any of the Windows Store apps without too much problem. It'll run Photoshop really, as long as you can prepared for, you're not going to get lightning fast rendering on it, but you know, it's a tablet device really, or a lightweight device. It's not, if you install Visual Studio on there you're going to be compiling large programs on it, but you can. That's the nice thing about this, it's full version Windows 8.1 Home, so you can install whatever you want on it, as well as the Windows Store apps. But all the Windows Store apps work really well. You can install Office and things like that. It doesn't come with Office. Office generally comes with the smaller tablets, so it doesn't come with that. So you could hook it up with an Office 365 subscription, or just install the normal Microsoft Office apps.
It does come quite a bit of software, some good, some not so good. So you've got some of these Acer apps, these, if I scroll over, you'll see all these. You've got AB Docs, AB Files, AB Media, and they call that build your own cloud. So it's your own sort of cloud solution for sharing media, photos and files. I personally would prefer to use sort of OneDrive for my sharing, but it's nice to have the option. Some things I'm not so keen on is McAfee Internet. I'd rather just use Windows Defender, so I would probably take that off and get rid of that. There are quite a lot of bundled apps with it, but with it being Windows Store like eBay and things like that, and you can just easily uninstall them, the Kindle app and things like that, so it's not too bad. As you notice, when we go to the desktop, you've got like Love Film and Spotify and, you know, eBay shortcuts, but again, they're easy to get away with. It's just this one I'd probably get rid of first and get a nice cleaner install on there. In terms of battery life, I've been finding I've been getting sort of 5 hours usage, something like that, so between 4 and 5 hours depending on what you're using it for. Web browsing, video playing seems to give you about 5 hours. I think if you run any heavier, then obviously you'll reduce the battery life on it. So the battery life is quite reasonable on it. The 32 gig storage is a bit of a limitation if you're going to do a lot of work on there. So we've only got 13 gig free now. With just with Windows, and we haven't really got any applications installed. You have got the 500 gig drive, but that is in the keyboard, so if you are separating it out, you'll lose connection to that. You can use the micro SD card and fit a micro SD card in it and use that for putting media on it and that kind of thing. So you have got the options of expanding it out using those, and then the big on sort of spinning drive will give you plenty of storage for when you're connected to the keyboard. It's got a 2 megapixel front camera and a 5 megapixel rear camera, so it's good for Skype, video conference and kind of things. I mean, you could take photos with it, with the Windows camera app, but I'm not sure you really want to be using this as your camera, but you could do it. It's got Bluetooth 4.0, 802.11 G and N support, so you've got all the wireless coverage kind of covered. What about the keyboard? Well, the keyboard, it's got short travel keys on it, so you may not want to do a huge amount of typing on there, but it's certainly fine for if you can connect the keyboard up and use it for typing. It's not a problem for that. Maybe you wouldn't write a book on it, but it's certainly fine for browsing the web. You've got a fairly good trackpad that supports gestures. You can swipe in to bring in the charms if you're on Windows 8.1, and you can swipe in from the left to do the task switching, and it supports 2-finger scrolling, which is one of the things I really like. I don't like any device that doesn't support that, so that's nice. And as you can see, it's nice and fast switching from app to app, desktop back to Internet Explorer. With Windows 10 it'd be even better with the Edge browser, so performance is good for a tablet like this. What you're paying an extra £100 for the bigger screen. You can find the Switch 10 a lot cheaper for that smaller screen size. It comes down to what you want to do with it. I quite like this. I do like the option of being able to take your tablet with you, sit on the sofa. It supports rotation, and just being able to relax with that and then just connect it back up when you need it. It's easy to balance on your knee as well because of the weight, so you don't have to worry about it tipping back. I mean, you can see it's quite well balanced. This is nice and solid. It does look a little bit chunky when you look at it from the side like this. It's quite thick. That extra keyboard, the disc in the keyboard does make it quite thick, but you're looking at a laptop there, a fairly solid laptop. When you split it off, it's a tablet. So overall, nice little device. If you're looking for a hybrid type device, then this is definitely something you should check out. So I'll include a full review on the digitallifestyle.com that goes with this video. Thanks for watching this one, and you can see more reviews on our YouTube channel.